Mark, it's been going on for quite a while, the sort of debate over this one boat, hasn't it?
Yes, and the very latest that's being reported by Reuters is that the captain of this vessel has been told that he can actually release the vessel, he can leave Le Havre immediately, that he won't have to pay this deposit that was a €150,000 deposit. Effectively, it was arrested by French fisheries patrols on Friday of last week, accused of fishing in areas of French waters that it had no business to be in, that it didn't have the proper documentation and licence to fish in these waters. It is part and parcel, of course, of what has become a bit of a tit for tat in terms of the French and the British rowing over the fishing licences that have been issued post-Brexit. Now, France, you'll remember, right up until Monday of this week, was threatening that there was going to be significant retaliation, that they were going to slow down the ports and border operations in their main ports to the United Kingdom and from the United Kingdom. So for the likes of Boulogne and Calais, Dunkirk and others, there would be more stringent, they were saying, customs and border checks that could really have had the result of snarling an awful lot of traffic, freight trying to get to the UK from France up for a while. That was of great concern, of course, to the UK. The UK, through the Environment Secretary George Eustace, the Prime Minister and others were threatening the potential of legal action going to the EU in triggering this dispute mechanism with the European Union. It got to the point, of course, on Monday where Emmanuel Macron, the French president, over for COP26, said that he was suspending those plans to introduce more stringent checks on the borders in the meantime while they allow some fresh talks to go ahead. The French have come up with some proposals which are being looked into. The British government have welcomed that, and there is now further dialogue that's ongoing at an official level on the continent with a view to hopefully coming up with a solution over this. In the meantime, this vessel had still been held in Le Havre. The captain of the vessel went to court today. He has been told, according to Reuters, the very latest information, that it can be released with immediate effect, that he can leave Le Havre and he doesn't have to pay this €150,000 fine, is it? Well, it's been described as a deposit, but it sounds very much like a fine to me.
Yeah, and I don't think this is going to be the end of these battles. It seems to me very clear that the French president is very much playing to his gallery in the run-up to the presidential elections, and partially we're set to do the same. So, well, let's keep our fingers crossed that things don't get too severe before Christmas and that there's a bit of a détente. Mark, do you think that there is a real risk here when it comes as well to cooperating with the French on matters such as migrants coming over in boats? It's absolutely vital that we have a dialogue with them, but they turned around and said we never received any of the money that you gave us to patrol the seas or to patrol the coastline. It doesn't seem to me that Anglo-French cooperation is in a good place right now.
No, and it's a huge and important nation as far as the UK is concerned. It is our closest nation on the continent to the UK that, of course, we have to deal with. This whole dispute, though, these licences, really centre on issues around whether the European vessels, including French vessels, can prove to the British and indeed the government of Jersey for fishing around the waters there that they have previously fished in those waters over the past 3 years. And it may only be up to 10 days. If you can prove that you fished over the last 3 years for up to 10 days, then you are classed as being dependent on those waters for at least part of your living, and you will be granted a licence. The issue has been that, yes, a lot of European and French vessels have been able to prove that they have fished in British waters and Jersey waters previously, but quite a few haven't. And it was, at last count, about 55 in Jersey who've actually been denied a licence and are no longer, from Monday of this week, able to fish in the waters around Jersey. And it was about 70 odd. It may have reduced slightly to nearer 60 for fishing in those UK waters as well. Although, having said that, hundreds of licences have been handed out to the French and other European fisheries. The French are crying foul. They say that this is completely unfair, that the British are just, and the Jersey government are just rewriting the rules to set themselves. The UK government and the government in Jersey say that's absolutely not true. We're sticking to the letter of the post-Brexit trade agreement on fishing with regard to these licences. So, no, it didn't seem like there was any sort of way through this. Both sides were fairly entrenched, but Emmanuel Macron announced on Monday that they had some new proposals that might find a way out of this current very difficult dispute. And let's see where it goes. We've got, we believe, until tomorrow, where they're looking for some kind of resolution, or we may be enacting more in the way of stringent border checks on the French side. In the meantime, you were mentioning there, of course, about the ongoing issue with those trying to cross the channel in small boats. Yes, absolutely. The British government needs the French to cooperate. There have been, some real concerns that they haven't been cooperating as well as they might, even though they are getting many millions of pounds from the UK government to boost their security patrols and operations along the northwest coast of France to try to stop these boats coming across. The French say they are doing as much as they can, but they don't want to endanger migrant boats by trying to go in heavy-handed and trying to turn them back. A proposal, by the way, that the British government is now in the process of trying to enact in a limited fashion.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.